Hey guys, this is a review of the Rhino Shield PlayProof by Evolutive Labs. It's a great minimal case if you want that. It's lightweight and it provides one of the best drop protection that I've ever seen. If you do want to, go look up Mobile Reviews A on YouTube and see what he's done with this case. It is insane. He drops it multiple times and it's crazy what this case can do for protecting your phone. Well, alright, let's get into it. Similar to all the other Rhino Shield cases, this one also boasts a honeycomb design on the inside, which helps with cushioning your phone from any type of drop impact, and it's crazy what it can do. Now, with the phone in the case, you're going to get protection for that camera bump, as well as a little bit of a lip for the front of the phone, so if you ever want to place it face down on your bedside or anywhere, it's definitely going to be fine. The cutouts for the lightning port and the headphone jack are pretty big, which means that for third-party cables such as Anchor, Amazon Basics, or Monoprice are definitely going to fit. However, the cutout for the silence is pretty deep in there. So unless you use your smaller fingers or you have nails, it's actually going to be a little bit tough to get into it, but overall you get used to it. The cutout for the camera leaves enough space for the flash as well as the camera bump. As you can see, there's still a little bit of space in between, so if you ever put this phone face down, camera bump's gonna be fine. Okay, so we have the PlayProof, right? Here's the crash guard by Rhino Shield. I like both, but I actually do prefer the PlayProof better, purely for the back. The crash guard's good if you really want that true minimal look, but for some reason I just get really paranoid about not having any type of protection on the back of my phone. Just, you know, my own preference, so to each his own. Okay, here we have the PlayProof and the crash guard side to side. As you can see, the lightning port cutout for the crash guard is way smaller than the PlayProof. So for those third-party cables, if you did have any trouble with your crash guard, I can assure you that most likely it's going to fit on the PlayProof. The headphone jack size is about the same, and then for the speaker ports, the crash guard is more indented while the PlayProof is just flush with the case. For the buttons, the crash guard has a little bit of an indent for its sleep button. Again, the PlayProof sleep button is pretty flush aside from the actual button. And then for the volume and the silence, so the crash guard actually has, it feels like two separate buttons, and they also have a plus and a minus compared to the PlayProof. The PlayProof is pretty basic on that account, and then like we said before, the silence is actually way smaller on the PlayProof than the crash guard, which means if you don't have, you know, nails or you have bigger fingers, it's going to be a little tough getting that silence button on or off. The first time I put my phone in the PlayProof case, it was kind of daunting. The PlayProof is incredibly snug, and it takes a lot of force to get your phone in. And if you're a little scared of your phone, it might be pretty daunting. But once you get it in, it is snug. Your phone's never gonna slip out. You might as well just keep your phone in the case no matter what. So if you're a fan of switching to different cases, you know, depending on how you feel or the day, the PlayProof might actually be a little bit tough. But that's what you want in a case. You want something snug, you want something that feels good in your hands, and it's great. So the only gripe that I have with this is, like everybody else says, it does feel like a bar of soap. It's incredibly slippery in your hands, and yeah, if you don't pay attention, you might actually drop it. However, like I said, this case is a beast when it comes to dropping your phone. If you drop it, you know, nothing's gonna happen to it. This case is great for protection, and I really do put all my trust and faith into Rhino Shield. I also realized that this thing can be a little bit of a grease magnet if your hands are greasy, you know, from eating fried foods or whatnot. But cleaning off with a cloth makes it look brand new again, so I'm not worried about that anymore. And I really love how just minimal it is. You know, other cases have great designs and whatnot, but if you want something where it's just plain, you know, unintrusive, go with Rhino Shield. It's a beautiful device.